And for number one on my list of the top 5 concert venues in Detroit is, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Michael's Life Cycle, giving you that fresh perspective, never recycled. I was thinking about adding intros into the videos, but now that I said that, it actually sounds really corny. So let me know what you guys think about that intro. I might not ever do that again. So anyways, this video is going to be about the top 5 concert venues in Metro Detroit. This is coming from someone that used to work in the music industry for multiple years at a few of the venues in Detroit. So I definitely know what I'm talking about when it comes to this list. I've been to all of them. I've worked at a few of them for a few years, and I've seen hundreds of shows and concerts in Metro Detroit. So I think of all the people to make this list, I'm definitely the best person for the job. If you're a tourist of the city and you are going to a concert, or you live in the city and you're looking for concerts to go to, this list will help you out. So yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. So number 5 on my list of top 5 best concert venues in Detroit is the Magic Stick. And this is not to be confused with the Majestic, because it is actually the upstairs venue above the Majestic Theater along Woodward Avenue in Detroit. It's a smaller theater. I think they hold about maybe 500 or 1,000 guests. But for the shows that I've been to in that venue, it's been amazing. The lights that they have that go above you are amazing to watch. They react to the music. So it's just something really cool, especially for anyone that's into electronic music. They have a lot of electronic shows up there. It's almost like a club style feel or like vibe. It's a really small stage, but it's a fun venue to go to. I always have a good time there, and the acoustics in there are perfect because it's so small, so you can just hear everything perfectly. There's a little outdoor bar, I believe, on their balcony. There's a small balcony that you can stand over Woodward. You can see the city basically from the balcony, so it's just a cool spot to visit, and that's why it's got number 5 on my list of top 5 concert venues in Detroit. Number 4 is the Masonic Temple. And I actually used to work at the Masonic Temple for a year or two. It's an amazing theater. The architecture there is amazing. It's actually the largest Masonic temple in the entire country, so it's cool to visit anyways. As far as the theater goes, it's such an amazing theater. It's huge. I think it seats about 5,000 people. But when you go in there, just the architecture that you see, even down to the chandeliers and all of it, is just really cool to look at. It's a super old style feel. I think it was actually made to do opera a long time ago, but they've converted it into a normal theater where they do concerts and things like that. The only thing I don't like about the theater, which is worth mentioning, is the acoustics kind of suck, because it was meant for opera music and orchestra type music, and especially for hip hop and rock music, it all just kind of sounds like the bass is super overwhelming and you'll hear a lot of snare, but it's hard to hear the vocals. I think it has something to do with the way the theater was made, or maybe the speaker systems that they use. I'm not sure. But as far as the sound quality, I don't think it's the best of all the theaters that I've been to. And along with that, in the pit section where the standing room is at, it's actually on an angle because it used to be seating that was angled in towards the stage. So they took the seating out to make the pit area. So if you get standing room, you'll actually be standing kind of on an angle, which seems kind of dangerous to me sometimes, especially when there's beer being spilled or there's mosh pits or something like that, because it is a little annoying to be standing on an angle the whole night. But other than that, I think it definitely takes the spot for number 4 on this list, just because it's such an amazing theater and it's worth checking out at least once for one show. But yeah, it's got number 4 on my list of top 5 concert venues in Detroit. Number 3 is the Royal Oak Music Theater. I also used to work here for many years. Well, not many, but a couple years. And it's amazing theater. The acoustics in there are amazing. The sound quality is perfect when you're listening to any show. To me, I know I'm biased because I used to work there, but the actual staff that works there is the best in the city. I think it's amazing people, and they treat you right when you're coming in. You get metal detected, but all the staff is amazing. They'll help you out with it, whatever you need. They have some amazing shows there. They're not top tier shows because tier one artists will play arenas and maybe even at the Fillmore, but it's just really cool shows. They have a lot of artists come through the entire year, so chances are if you're into music, you're gonna end up there anyways. But it definitely makes the list for the top 5 venues in Detroit. It's definitely worth checking out. The Royal Oak Music Theater in Royal Oak. But yeah, I had to put it on number 3 on this list because it's just such a great spot, and I've actually missed working there a lot. Just the way they run the shows there are seamless and it's perfect. There's usually nothing that goes wrong. But yeah, you'll really enjoy it if you end up going to a show there. So, Royal Oak Music Theater. Number 2 on my list of the top 5 venues in Detroit is St. Andrews Hall and The Shelter, which is under St. Andrews Hall. It's actually in the basement. And a lot of you may know about The Shelter from 8 Mile. That's where Eminem performed in the end of the movie. And he actually used to perform there in real life as well. But that's a really small part of the venue. I actually don't like The Shelter as much as the main venue, which is on the upstairs. But The Shelter, you're gonna get some really intimate shows. It's really small. I think it holds like 300 people, maybe like 400. And for lower tier artists that are just starting out, a lot of them come through The Shelter, especially hip hop artists, because it's just a huge location for hip hop and rap. But if you're into that, The Shelter is an iconic spot, especially because of 8 Mile. Sorry about that. My camera actually died, but I got a new battery in the camera. But yeah, I was speaking about The Shelter, and just a great spot for rap shows, especially if you're into that kind of thing. That's actually underneath the main St. Andrews Hall, which I believe is number 2 venue for me on this list, because I've just never seen better shows in my life. I mean, they're definitely some of the best shows I've ever been to have been in St. Andrews Hall. The acoustics are perfect. The volume that they have the speakers at is perfect. I think it holds about 1,500 people. If you want to relax a little bit and you just want to chill on the outside, there's a balcony up above the main pit area, so you can just hang out there and just watch the show from up there, which is a really cool vantage point. Yeah, they're just super nice staff. It's run by Live Nation, so just a great venue in the city, and I think the shows that I've been to there have just been amazing. It's not too many people and it's not too small to where it feels like a small show. It's super intimate. They play all types of shows there, but if you're into music, I definitely recommend checking out St. Andrews Hall. You won't regret it. And for number 1 on my list of top 5 concert venues in Detroit is the Fillmore. And this one definitely takes number 1 on my list because not only is the architecture amazing, the location is also amazing. Right in downtown Detroit, right next to Comerica Park. From the time you walk in the theater, it's just a complete vibe. It's a super old school theater. Everything's marble, amazing architecture, especially even in the mezzanine and above that. Just from the columns along near the stage to the chandeliers, everything is just perfect. Like, the architecture is amazing. I remember back when I was working there, they actually cleaned all of the smoking tar from people smoking off of the columns, and they turned from like a brown marble to like back to white because they did a whole clean of the entire building, and it just looked amazing when they did that. So I used to even tell people to try to smoke outside just because of the tar that would get on the marble and it would ruin the architecture of the building. But even though I don't really like being that kind of guy, but I did work there. But anyways, the shows that come in there are so intimate. They're top tier artists as well that come through there. So it's just an amazing experience. If you've been to the Fillmore, you know what I'm talking about. The way they set it up is perfect. It has like different levels, like A, B, C, and D. Each level can see the stage perfectly. The acoustics in there are amazing. Just the way they do the lights, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the atmosphere of the theater or the way it's set up, but it's just the most intimate, like most immersive shows that I've been to have been at the Fillmore. It's just amazing going there, and just thinking about working there back in the day, I really want to go back, but it definitely takes the cake. There's no question to it. It's definitely the number 1 concert venue in Detroit, in my opinion. And if you're into concerts, if you're gonna see some shows, You're probably going to end up there anyways, but it's just an amazing spot. And yeah, the Fillmore takes the cake. It really does. It's just an amazing spot. There's not much else to say about it. But anyways, that's it for my list on the top 5 concert venues in Detroit, Michigan, and Metro Detroit, really. If there's anything I missed and you guys want to mention something below, there's other theaters like the Fox Theater, Magic Bag, and actually I'd like to mention as an honorary mention Electricity in Pontiac, which is also a nice theater. It's similar to St. Andrews Hall. It's pretty much the same setup, but make sure you guys bring your earplugs when you go in there because they turn that music up really loud. But I think it's worth mentioning Pontiac because they have a lot of shows over in Electricity, especially electronic shows. And the Crowfoot over there is another venue where they have a lot of shows. So if you're in Detroit and you go to concerts, you'll probably end up there anyways, but it's worth mentioning that part of Metro Detroit as well. But yeah, that just about does it for my top 5 concert venues in Metro Detroit. Like I said, if I missed anything, please put it in the comment section below. If you disagree with what I'm saying, please let me know in the comments. If you like this type of video, I'm going to try to make more videos about Detroit and Detroit lifestyle. Yeah, feel free to like, subscribe if you're into this, and I'll definitely be coming out with more, so you'll get notified when that happens. But yeah, that's about it. Those are the top 5 concert venues in Detroit, Michigan, and thank you guys for watching. Peace out.